Hello guys, welcome to another video in the series of coding. Today we're going to solve the problem which is called find nth Fibonacci number. So given an integer a, you need to find the 8th Fibonacci number, right? So let's try to understand what is a Fibonacci number. Fibonacci number is just a series. So for example, the first number is 1, next number is also 1. Okay, after that, you have to just add the two numbers to get the next number. So 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, right? So the next number is 2. Then add these two numbers. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So the next number is 3. Then add these two numbers. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. So the next number is 5. Okay. And let's say you want to find the next number. So 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. Next number is 8 and so on. So this is the series which is called Fibonacci series. Okay. Now, the easiest algorithm which is commonly known for this is our algorithm which is O of n time complexity, and the algorithm is basically simple. Okay, take two variables. For example, this is a variable first. Let me just call it represented by f, and we have another variable, let's say second. Okay, so you have to find, for example, the nth Fibonacci number. Okay, in this case, let's say we want to find the answer, which is this 8. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. This is the sixth Fibonacci number. Let's say our n is 6. We want to find this Fibonacci number, which is 8. Okay, so the nth Fibonacci number, which is the sixth Fibonacci number. So what we do, we take two variables, first and second. Okay, and we keep moving these two variables to get us the answer. Okay, so let's say our answer is here. Answer is the sum of first and second. Okay, so let me write it. Answer is the sum of first and second, and we'll keep moving these two variables. Okay, so first is 1. Okay, so currently first is 1, second is also 1, right? First is 1, second is also 1. My first is 1, second is also 1. And what is my answer variable? Answer is 1 plus 1, which is 2 currently. Okay, this is my answer variable. Now what I do, I shift my first. I make for the next iteration, I shift 1, I shift first, and then I shift second. Okay, so I move both of them. So what do I mean by that? So initially my first and second were here. I move my first here and I move my second here. Okay, now again my answer variable will change. Okay, so what is my answer variable now? So first is 1, right? First is 1, second is 2. So my answer is 1 plus 2, which is equal to 3. Okay, so the next number, I have found the next number in the series, which is 3. Okay, so this is 3 currently. Now I again shift my first by 1, I again shift my second by 1. Okay, so now I again shift these two variables. So first comes here and second comes here. Okay, now again my answer variable will shift. So answer is the next value in the series. So first is 2, right? So let me present it. First is 2 and second is 3. So 2 plus 3, which will be equal to 5, which will give me the next answer. So answer is equal to 5. Okay, so this is 2 plus 3, which is equal to 5. Okay. Again I shift the values. So first will shift and answer will also shift. Okay. So I just shift the values. So first comes here, second comes here. Okay, and again my answer variable will change. So what is first? First is 3. What is second? Second is 5. Okay, so 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. So my answer will become equal to 8, and I keep doing this, right? I keep doing this unless I get the nth value which is needed. So I have reached my answer, which is equal to 8. Now the time complexity of this algorithm is O of n. Okay, it's a very simple algorithm and it is efficient, but it is not the most efficient algorithm. Okay, so we can solve this problem in the time complexity, which is O of log n. Okay. How to solve this problem in the time complexity O of log n, which is the most efficient for this problem? Okay, to understand that, we will have to understand one very simple equation. If we understand this equation, we will be able to understand everything, right? That is f of n is equal to f of n minus 1 plus f of n minus 2. Okay. This equation we need to understand. What is this equation? This equation says that the nth term of the Fibonacci series is given by the previous two terms. Okay, so let's say you want to find f of 4. What is that? That is equal to f of 3 plus f of 2. What does fourth term mean? See, the Fibonacci sequence is like this, right? 1 1 2 3. So the fourth term is 3. This is the fourth term, and it is a sum of the third term and the second term. Third term is 2, second term is 1. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. That's it. This is the simple equation that is going to help us in solving this problem. Okay, so we know this equation. Okay, now what else do we know? Okay, so what will be f of n plus 1? Similarly, the n plus 1th term will be the sum of previous two terms. So what will be that? F of n plus f of n minus 1, right? Suppose I want to find even the next term. What will be f of n plus 2? Okay, what will be f of n plus 2? So f of n plus 2 will be equal to f of n plus 1 plus f of n. Okay, so very simple equations. I have just represented the simple equations which represent the sum of previous two terms. Okay. Now let us say I want to build the next term. Okay. Let us say I have f of n. I have f of n plus 1. Okay. Can I build f of n plus 2? I can build, right? Because once I have these two terms, I can use these two terms to build f of n plus 2, right? This term I can use here. This term is the same as this term. When I have these two terms, I'll be able to build this term. Okay. So if somebody tells me find out the value of f of n plus 2, right? I can do it if I have these two terms, right? So if I have these two terms, so what will I do? See, if I have f of n plus 1 and if I have f of n, what will I do? I will just add these two terms to give me f of n plus 2, right? So what does that mean? I am just taking 1 multiplying by this term. Okay. Again, taking 1 multiplying here and I am getting f of n plus 2. F of n plus 2 is just f of n plus 1 and f of n. Okay. So very simple equations. I have just written like this, right? F of n plus 2 can be given like this. What I am doing, let me represent it in the form of a matrix. Taking f of n plus 1, taking f of n, multiplying both by 1 and what is the answer of this? The answer of this is, what is this? F of n plus 2. Okay. So this is the matrix representation. What is the size of this matrix? The size of this matrix is 1 cross 2. What is the size of this matrix? 2 cross 1. If I multiply both the matrix, I'll get a 1 into 1 cross matrix which represents this, right? Which represents this simple number. Okay. So using two numbers, I can find out the next number. I'm just representing it in the form of a matrix to make things easier. Okay. Let's say I am giving you, okay, another value. Okay. Let's say I also want to find out the next value, right? I want to find out the next value. So let me also take one more example. If I have f of n and if I have f of n minus 1, right? If I have f of n and if I have f of n minus 1, what can I do in that case? I'm just extending this matrix. This is my matrix, right? Now I'm just extending it. Now, if I multiply f of n, okay, if I multiply f of n with 1, what will I get? F of n. If I multiply f of n with 1, what will I get? F of n plus 1. So, I will get this number. Okay. So, what is f of n plus f of n minus 1? What is that? What is this? F of n plus f of n minus 1, right? What does that represent? That represents f of n plus 1. Okay, so to find out f of n plus 1, I can just multiply these two terms. Okay. If I multiply these two terms, what will I get? I will just get f of n plus 1, which I can represent here. See, I'll do it again. I multiplied these two terms first of all. So what did I do? F of n plus 1 into 1, right? Plus f of n. That gave me f of n plus 2, right? So f of n plus 1 plus f of n is equal to f of n plus 2. So I just multiplied the first row with the first column and I got this value. Okay. Now I multiplied this second row with this column. I got this value. Okay. So what is that value? F of n plus f of n minus 1 is equal to f of n plus 1, right? This is the sum of the previous two terms and that is what I have represented here. Okay. So this matrix is going to solve a lot of problems for me. So I have built the matrix, right? So I know the next terms also, okay? And now for completing the matrix, right? If I want to find the next matrix, which is similar in size to the input matrix, okay? To complete the term, what I will do? I will just take, see, here we have f of n, here also we have f of n. So here we have f of n plus 1, here also I'll take f of n plus 1, okay? Here we have f of n minus 1, which is the previous value. So here I'll take f of n. So, and here I will have to take 1 and 0, okay? Because that will give me the matrix. So let's understand this matrix once again. This is a very beautiful matrix and this is going to help us solve the problem in log n time complexity. So the matrix is very simple. We have already looked. If we multiply f of n plus 1 and add f of n, we'll get f of n plus 2. Okay. What is the next value represent? If we multiply this with this, right? So it is just f of n plus 1 because this will become 0 anyway. So this is just f of n plus 1. Okay. Now if we multiply this row with this column, what will we get? Okay, we will get this value. Okay. f of n into 1 is f of n minus 1. If we just add these two terms, right, f of n plus f of n minus 1, we'll get f of n plus 1. And then if we take this and this value, right, f of n plus 0, so we just get f of n back again. So if we have one input matrix, just multiply it with this. This will give us the next terms in the series. Okay, this one very important and beautiful property. Okay, so let's see it. Okay, enough of equations. Let us see the actual beauty of this problem. See, this matrix represents Fibonacci series for n equal to 1, right? Okay, so for n equal to 1, this matrix represents the answers. Okay, so now enough of equations. Let's try to delve into the beauty of this. Okay, so for n equal to 1, what does this matrix means? This matrix means, okay, so what we have, this is f of n plus 1, right? So this is nothing but f of 2, this is f of 1, this is f of 1, this is f of 0. The first term in the Fibonacci series is what? 1, that is f of 1. Second term in the Fibonacci series is 1, that is f of 2. Okay, and this is f of 1, and f of 0 doesn't exist, it's 0. Okay, so this represents. Now what will be the next matrix? Okay, suppose I want to find out the next terms in the series. So f of 3, f of 2, f of 2, f of 1. Okay, the next matrix I can simply get by multiplying this matrix by the same matrix again. If I multiply these two matrix, I will get the matrix for n equal to 2. Okay, let us see the beauty of this problem now. Just multiply these two matrix. Just multiply. What is this? 1 plus 1. This is 2, right? First value will be 2. Multiply the next row with the next column. What is this? 1 plus 0. What will that be? That will just be 1. Multiply this value with this value. What will that be? That will just be 1. Multiply this value with this value. What will that be? That will also be 1. Okay. So this represents the next matrix. Okay. So if you want to find the third term in the Fibonacci series, right, that is given by this value here. Second term of the Fibonacci is 1. Second value is 1. First value is 1. Suppose you want to find the next term now. Okay, let's find the next term. What will be the next? F of 4, f of 3, f of 3, f of 2, right? So next value in the Fibonacci matrix. Just multiply this by same matrix 1, 1, 1, 0. This is the beautiful matrix, right? Multiply this and you will get your next answer. So just multiply and see the matrices. 1 into 2 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, right? So you will get 3. Okay. 1, 1, 1, 0. Multiply this value with this. Okay. So 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1. What does that mean? That gives 2. Multiply this and this. 1 into 2 is 2. This is 0. So this will give you 2. Multiply this and this. So 1 into 1 plus 0. That will give you 1. Right. So this value represents f of 4, f of 3, f of 3 and f of 2. So f of 4 is 3. The fourth term in the Fibonacci series is 3. Third term is 2. Third term is 2. Second term is 1. Okay. It's very interesting. If you want to get the last term, okay, let's see the last example. If you want to get the fifth value in the Fibonacci series, so how can you get it? Just multiply this matrix, right? You will get your answer. Just multiply. 1 into 3 is 3. 1 plus 1 into 2 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. Right? Just multiplying the matrix. Multiply this value with this. 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. You'll get 3. Multiply these two values. 1 into 3 is 3. So you'll get this. Multiply this with this. 1 into 2 is 2. And you will get this value. So 5, 3, 3, 2. This represents the next term in the Fibonacci series. You have got the fifth term, right? So f of 5 is 5. F of 4 is 3. F of 3 is 2. Okay, so you have got the values. So this matrix represents this. So what did I do? I just took, suppose I want to find the value, right? If I want to find for n equal to 4, right? I just multiplied, I took this matrix, multiplied it 4 times, right? Took this matrix, multiplied it 4 times, got the resultant matrix. This resultant matrix will give me, if I take this value or this value, this will give me the answer for n equal to 4. Okay, so this is the beauty of this matrix. So just take this matrix and multiply, and we have seen the logic of that here. This is the logic, that is why we are getting this beautiful matrix. Okay, so now we know all this. Now how do we solve the problem in log of n? Okay, we know all this. We have built matrices. They are beautiful. We understand everything. How do we solve the problem in log n? Okay, that is the question. So the answer is very simple, right? Okay, so let's understand that answer using another problem. If we see this problem, we'll understand why it is log n complexity. Okay, so suppose you have to find x power n. Okay, you have to find a number power n. Let's say x is equal to 2. You have to find 2 power 10. That is 1024, right? 2 power 10 is 1024. Suppose you have to find 2 power 10. 2 power 10 is 1024. Okay. So to find it, there is, okay, you can do one thing, right? So to find it, if you want to do it, you can do it like this: multiply 2 10 times, right? You will get your answer. Multiply 2 10 times, you will get your answer. But that's a very beautiful algorithm to find 2 power 10. And how do you do that? Okay, how do you do that? So you take 2 power 5, multiply 2 power 5 with 2 power 5, get the value for this, right? Don't go into this recursion tree, just get the value here. From this value, okay, just multiply this value again, you will get back your answer, right? Okay, if you want to find 2 power 5 now, what will you do? If you want to find 2 power 5, take 2 power 2 into 2 power 2, okay, multiply it by 2, you will get your answer. So just find this value, multiply it twice, and then multiply by 2, you will get your answer. Okay. Suppose you want to find 2 power 2, what will you do? Take 2 power 1 into 2 power 1, you and return back the answer. Just get this value, return back the answer. If you want to find 2 power 1, right, the answer is simply 2. Okay, so find this value, return the answer here, multiply. Okay, so the answer is 2, then multiply 2 into 2, answer is 4. Okay, return 4, multiply 4 into 4, 16, 16 into 2 is 32, return 32. Okay, you have 32, multiply 32 by 32, right? So multiply 32 by 32, you will get 1024. That will be the answer. Okay, now the beauty of this problem is you are breaking the problem into half steps, right? So you start with a number n, break it, keep breaking it, right? And the time complexity will be log n, because every time you are only doing half of the iteration, you are ignoring the remaining half. Every time you are just finding this value, right? Ignoring the other part, finding this value, not calculating the answer again, and just using that value, returning that value, and finding the answer. Okay, so we'll see the code for this problem. Code is very simple, right? In this we have negative numbers also, so we have to take n equal to -1. In that case, just return 1 by x. Okay, so the logic is simple. Let's say you have 3 power 1, it is 3, right? But if you have 3 power -1, it is 1 by 3. Okay, so that's why I have just taken 1 by x, but the logic is very simple. Okay, so if n is 0, 3 power 0 is, for example, 1. Okay, so what you do, just recursively call this function. See, I'm just calling this function again for n by 2, get the answer, store it in a variable temp, multiply temp by temp, and return the answer. Okay, if it is even number, you have to just multiply both the answers and return. Okay, so for example, you have to find the value for 2 power 10. So the value is just 2 power 5 into 2 power 5. Okay, so just get the answer for 2 power 5, store it in temp, and then multiply temp and return the answer. If it is even, if it is odd number, right, let's say your n is equal to 5, in that case, if it is odd number, then you have to get the answer for 2 power 2. Okay, multiply it with 2 power 2, and then you also have to multiply it by 2 once again to make it 2 power 5. So that's why you have to multiply it with the x again, get the answer. Okay, if it is negative, you have to return it by 1 by x, right, because it's negative. So that's it, and this complexity is log n. Okay, so this is the same code we are going to use. Now here we were multiplying numbers, but now we have to multiply matrices, right? So we were multiplying this matrix n times, right, to get the possible value. So we can use the same code, right? We can use the same thing when we are multiplying the matrix, right? Okay, let's say we have a matrix A, we have to multiply it n times. Okay, so what I will do, I will just find the answer, I'll multiply the matrix n by 2 times. Okay, it is the same matrix, I will get the answer for this value, and then I will just multiply that answer again with this answer and return back this answer, right? So I don't want to do the work again and again. So that is a simple logic. Now let's see the code of our Fibonacci, of nth Fibonacci, find nth Fibonacci. Okay. So we have to solve this function. So I am just taking the matrix which we discussed, 1 1 1 0, right? This was the matrix which we discussed, which we have to multiply n times to get the answer. To get the required answer, this will give us f of n plus 1, f of n, f of n, f of n minus 1 here. So we need f of n, right? You can take this value. So that's what I am doing. I am taking this value. So finally I will return answer of 0 1, because this is 0 0, this is 0 1, this is 1 0 1 1. So you can either return 1 1 1 0 or 0 1. Both will give you f of n, right? So you can return any of the values. So I am just taking 0 1 and returning that. So I will take this matrix, multiply it n times, right? I will take the matrix, take it to the power of n. I'll call the function, and whatever answer I am getting, I'll just return that value, this value, f of n. Okay, and I'm taking this modulo because it can be a very long number. Okay, so now let us see this function. Okay, let us see the function. So this function is very simple. I have to multiply the matrix A to the n times, right? A into A into A up to n times. Okay. So if n is 1, I can just return it. If I simply have n equal to 1, I have to return the same matrix. Okay. Otherwise, I call the function n by 2. Okay. As we discussed in the other solution, as we discussed in this code, right? Similarly, same code I'm just using here, same logic I'm using here. Taking A, find recursively, I mean dividing, using the divide and conquer method, finding the answer for n by 2, right? Finding the answer for n by 2, storing that answer. If it is even, okay, taking that answer, multiplying it and returning it. Okay, just multiplying the matrices. If it is odd, right, if it is odd, you also have to multiply the matrix again, to take temp and then temp, multiply it by A again. Okay, if it is odd, this value, if it is even, then this case. Now how do we multiply matrices? Multiplying matrices is very simple. Okay, we have two matrices, matrix 1, matrix 2. Multiplying it is very simple, right? So this is a common code for multiplying two matrices. Okay, so this is a if I can also discuss this code quickly. Okay, let's say you have two matrices 1 2 3 4, and let's say you have 5 6 7 8. Okay, so how do you multiply the two matrices? It's very simple. Okay, just take value this and this. Okay, so take I equal to 0, j equal to 0, k equal to 0 initially. Okay, so I will range from 0 to 1, j will range from 0 to 1, k will range from 0 to 1, because in this case all our matrices 2 by 2 into 2 by 2. Okay, so very simple. Multiply, this is 0 0, this is 0 1, this is 1 0, this is 1 1, 0 0 0 1, 1 0 1 1. So what you have to do, you have to take, for the matrix 1 you have to take 0 0. Okay, you have to multiply this number with this number, right? You have to multiply it with matrix 2 0 0. Okay, and then to that you have to add what? You have to add this value. So multiply this with this, multiply 0 1 of matrix 1. Okay, and then multiply 1 0 of matrix 2, and so on, right? So you keep doing this multiplication, you will get the first value here. So 1 into 5 is 5, 2 plus 7 is 14, 19. So you will get the first value here, and so on, right? Multiplying matrices is easy, so you can see the code for that. Okay, so just take 3 for loops and you will get the value ij in the new matrix will just be ik into kj, and you can run 3 for loops for these and you can multiply the matrix. That is the entire code. Now let us submit and see if it's going to work or not. So it's working. That's it.